What's going on, folks? Welcome back to the Pixel Dome. Another episode completely Call of Duty free. Today we're going to discuss Ghost of Tsushima. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sure you will correct me if I am not. Either way, this is a game developed by Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch, of course, we've known for the Infamous series, Sly Cooper series, several other games. I'm not really a big fan of the Infamous series, but I am familiar with them through the Sly Cooper series. This game's a very big kind of departure for them. Going off those platforming type games into a full-blown open world game is very different than anything I've seen them do before. But they nailed it in doing it. To go from third person, run around, smack shit, and slide down platform games to a full bore cinematic storyline to 4K graphics to deep as deep can get storyline, they pulled off a remarkable job.
They really did. It's like watching a movie. I can't get enough. I keep telling Matt that if there was no gameplay in it, however long that story is, if it's 5 hours, I would sit there and watch it.
Yeah.
It sucks you in.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, from a game, I guess you could compare it to like the Fallout or a Far Cry series a little bit, stuff like that. Even Fallout a little bit. It's that same kind of, you're upgrading weapons, all that kind of jive, but you're doing all this mainly from on horseback. The just plain Jane premise of it all: your island is being invaded by the Mongols, and they've got your dad. You got to rescue your dad, and you got to take your village. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Samurai. Yeah, you're a samurai. A little bit on the shame side of things, but you're out there regaining your honor and trying to rescue your dad and claim back your island. Pretty cut and dry story. It's all the stuff that happens in between there. With the basic gameplay, you're running around on horseback, beating bad guys on the side of the road, rescuing people. Then you've got your main objectives where you go in with other party members and go complete tasks that they need help with. Your traditional cut and dry game. Now, me and him have talked about this. Where the game really separates itself from others is with all its little stuff in between, like the duels.
Yeah.
Everything's...
You got one point to get to, one objective, one mission, but there's so many side missions on the way there. And the map just keeps growing. And the gameplay, the hack and slash, the combat, it's phenomenal. It looks so good. Just the blades of grass, the pampas grass, and the flowers blowing in the wind, which is another cool aspect. If you don't know which way to go, you swipe the touchpad. The wind directs you which way you need to go. Even that looks amazing. It's the little things.
That's a really cool thing about it too, how you follow the wind in the game. It'll lead you to where you go, and it's very similar to kind of like Elden Ring, where you're following the golden little stream of air. But with Tsushima, where you get sidetracked is all the stuff in between. If you've ever grown up watching the old school Ronin type movies and samurai type movies, you always have your famous duel scenes. You'll hit an adversary somewhere along the way, either accidentally or it'll be part of a subplot, a mission, something like that. And then it goes off into a duel. And it's an old screen, you against them fight. And some of them are easy, some of them are grueling, but it is all about, this whole game is strategery when fighting. It is a hack and slash at heart, but with finesse.
Yeah, with a lot of amazing graphics, amazing gameplay. Like, I don't know, I'm almost stumped of what to say about this game because it's so good. There's so many things.
Well, there's so many great things you could talk about.
There's just tons. It goes on forever.
That's the thing that's overwhelming about it. I mean, there's just, you think about this and then it goes to this. I mean, from the graphical standpoint to the upgradability. And that's one thing I really loved about it. It doesn't overwhelm you with upgrades.
Yeah.
You've got like
easy.
Yeah.
You're not searching for which magic to use on which enemy. You're just upgrading your stuff, making it bigger and better. Your health, all that.
Yeah. It's very simple, very easily laid out. Like your samurai armor, I think you may have 5. And you can't even get the next one until you complete certain things. So it ain't like you got to get 5 red herbs and capture the fire of Achilles and get that. I mean, you don't have to go through all this bunch of stuff to get it. To complete simple task, get so far along in the game that armor becomes available to you, you can move on. You can purchase stuff, you know, but it's so simple. There's not this massive skill tree. You don't have to allocate points into certain subsets. I mean, that's what I loved about the game. To be such a deep game and rich game and fun game, they didn't oversaturate it. It's not a Final Fantasy type game where you've got so much crap to manage and it kind of deters from the fun. This game gives you tons of fun with a little bit of crap to manage, but it's not to the point of annoyance.
Yeah, and it's just like he said, it's a hack and slash at heart, but it's like hack and slash plus, hack and slash extra. It just, I can't say it enough. The graphics, the gameplay, it's not super easy, it's not super hard, it's just fun. It's simple and fun. It's
tolerably frustrating. You know, because
that's a good way to put it.
When you're fighting anybody, just guys on the side of the road you run into, and some maiden is in distress, and you are saving her. You do not walk up and just cut a guy. You can walk up with your sword, you can strike the guy. But as soon as they get into the prone position, about ready to hit you, there'll be a little red light pop up, and that is your cue to dodge. And so you can dodge while he's doing that, and the enemy will pass you, and then you can strike from behind. So that's how every fight in this game is. It's not walk up and just start slashing and hacking. You have to wait for the opportunity, and the opportunity will be shown to you with a light on the character when he's about to strike, and you strike after that. When you run into guys with shields, you have to approach them totally different than you do guys with swords. When you run into guys with swords, you have to approach them totally different than you do guys with poles.
With the stances. You get, I think you get...
I can remember 3.
There's 4.
Okay.
I think as you progress, you win the side missions maybe. You get another, like you would upgrade.
Like a wind stance.
Yeah, and a water stance.
Yeah.
That's the second one. And I think the water stance is for the shieldsman, and the wind stance is for the swordsman. So you have, it might sound like it's a little much, but it's not. It's, if you see a guy with a sword, go to this setting. If you see a guy with a shield, go to this setting. It's not that you can't beat him otherwise, but it's easier to maneuver.
Yeah, for me, I think it was about a year ago that I beat it. Maybe not that long ago, but I do believe it was on the directional pad. Just on the D-pad, you just change your stance.
Yeah.
So it's super simple. It's right there. And when you're in the midst of fighting, even if you get confused about what goes with what, it's so easy to hit the button and just change your stance. You just mix it up until you see which one's working the best. When you get to a boss fight, you'll just kind of go through each stance until you see what whoops him up the best.
And I didn't even, once I got upgraded or whatever, unlocked the second stance, I didn't even use it at first. I was kind of just consumed in what I was doing and wasn't thinking, and still beat everybody. So it's not a needful thing, but it is nice touch and a little extra flair.
Yeah, it's one of those type games nowadays that you just don't get to play that often. That's just a sheer joy. I mean, you really do look forward to playing it. I mean, even when you're not fighting, just riding your horse along the plains through the grass, and just it's soothing, man. I mean, it's just it's nice.
It's the little things. I really, really, really hope there's a sequel.
If they done sequels to games like Infamous, and this thing is a masterpiece, if this doesn't get a sequel, it would be criminal. I'm sure there's probably been rumblings about it, and I just haven't heard about it.
Yeah, we may have to do a video if they don't do a sequel.
Yeah, that'll just be pure hate.
Yeah, that'll be good content, because I've got to play another game like this.
Yeah, and it's really set up where you can do a sequel to this, and yet the sequel could be relevant. They don't have to force a story out of this game. You know, it's all laying there for the hell. You could do 3 of them really off this world.
Yeah, that'd be an awesome trilogy.
Right, it would be. Well, all right, guys. We don't want to bore y'all to death. We just really want to drive home. You need to check this game out if you haven't yet. It's on the cheap as usual. So appreciate you watching the vid. Remember, don't listen to Garth Brooks.
Ever.
And we'll catch you on the next one. Later.